Hello there everyone and welcome back to The Lovely Grind. My name is Michael Prevey and my website is www.lovelygrind.com. That's where you're going to find blog posts about spiritual growth, professional fulfillment, and a balanced approach to total health. Welcome back to this series of YouTube videos that I'm doing about prescription drug withdrawal and surviving that withdrawal. For those of you who haven't seen my videos previously, my personal withdrawal story involves the SSRI medication Paxil and the benzodiazepine medication Xanax. Those were prescriptions that were given to me when I was a 21-year-old college student for some social anxiety and panic attacks I was suffering. And rather than dropping out of college, I began taking those prescriptions, and then I got married and had a career, and I continued to take these medications for nearly a decade and a half until when I was in my mid-30s, I decided that it was time once and for all to get these medications out of my life. And when I quit them, I didn't feel better right away. Instead, I was hit by withdrawal syndrome I didn't see coming. Physical pains, mental pains, and emotional challenges. And it was a really difficult journey to begin making sense of what I was going through and to begin finding measures of healing. But I was able to find measures of healing. I was able to define my situation, eventually get my footing, and the clouds began to part in bigger and bigger waves for me as time progressed. And I was able to find that light at the end of the tunnel that I was so desperately seeking during that challenging withdrawal period. And so that's why I'm making these videos. I'm making them so that all of you out there who are still going through the withdrawal process can find some hope and some evidence of that light at the end of the tunnel. The topic of today's video is a New Year's topic. It's a message of encouragement. I made a message in December about hope, and how hope is one of the best of things that we can hold on to during the withdrawal and healing process. So today's topic is similar, but it's encouragement. It's feeling good about 2019 and what the year is going to bring for you. Because I want to assure you that no matter what stage of the withdrawal and healing process you're at, 2019 is going to bring you progress. Now there's various stages that you might be at if you're watching this video. Perhaps you haven't yet begun your taper, and you just kind of have a suspicion that something's wrong with the medications, you want to get off of them, but you haven't yet made a specific plan or taken those first steps of the dosage reduction. So I'm here to tell you, just pick a date, pick a process, pick a date. The date is never perfect, the time is never perfect, there's always some challenges and stresses in life, but I can guarantee you, if you take those first steps down the taper plan process, if you begin the process, you're going to feel a lot better. You're going to feel a lot of anxiety lifted off your chest, even if you just get that first week or two done with and under your belt. Because really that's a lot of the stress that people go through when they're first contemplating a taper, is they can't seem to get their footing and take that first step. I was at that stage for quite a while. I was looking back at one of my journals from 2005 the other day, and in that journal, I was writing about how my top priorities for that year were to get off of Paxil and to get off of Xanax. Well, obviously, I wasn't able, for various reasons, to finally get off of those things until much later. I got off of the Paxil in December of 2012 and the Xanax in January of 2014. And so a lot of years passed, a lot of different life stresses and life changes happened during that time, and for whatever reason, I wasn't able to finally get that taper plan and take those first concrete steps toward the solution that I so desperately wanted. Well, once I did, that's when the progress really began to happen. And that's when you're going to feel a certain sort of anxiety lifted from your chest. So if you're out there contemplating that taper process, I'm urging you, take the first steps down that road. You're going to feel better that you did. And 2019 is going to bring you further and further progress as you continue with your taper plan. If you're in the midst of a taper, I also know how challenging that can be. It can seem like a thankless marathon. It can seem like beating our heads against the same wall every day. I tapered off of my Paxil rather quickly, but my Xanax taper was much more drawn out. I tapered off of, I went from about 4 or 5 milligrams of daily Xanax down to 0 in roughly a year and a quarter. And as that process drew on, I grew very impatient. As those of you out there in the taper know, each cut seems to bring new pains or new mental challenges or emotional challenges. It can be a frustrating process. We get in the middle of it and we forgot why we were doing it in the first place. and we think, what is this, what's the sense of this? Why am I even doing this? So I'm here today to offer you, if you're in the midst of the taper process, a little perspective. There's a very clear reason you're doing it. You're doing it to get down to that 0 milligram mark. You're no doubt experiencing measures of healing throughout the taper process, but once you get down to that finish line of 0 milligrams, you're going to see even greater measures of healing as the mind and body have a greater opportunity to reestablish themselves in the proper order without the medication. So whether that 0 milligram mark comes later this year for you, or whether you're just getting closer to it by the end of this year and it comes next year, depending on how many milligrams and what medication and how gradually you're going with your taper, 2019 is going to bring you great progress. Remember why you began the taper process. Remember that there's a very definitive finish line of that 0 milligram mark, and remember that each day passed in the process truly is enormous progress, and you're getting closer and closer to finally putting the situation behind you forever. Feel good about what 2019 will bring you. If you've been off the medications for a while, perhaps you've been off for 2 weeks, 2 months, perhaps it's even been 18 or 22 months or what have you. Maybe you're getting frustrated that your process isn't moving along as rapidly as you thought it would, and it hasn't been an overnight success story. But the fact of the matter is, these medications oftentimes, the healing can be drawn out. I know that from experience. The worst of my withdrawals lasted between 2 and 3 years. But within that time period, I was able to see measures of healing. It didn't all happen overnight, but gradually symptoms lessened in severity, waves became less severe, and they began to be spaced further apart. Eventually, symptoms fell off the radar, other ones just improved. Eventually, I was able to find more energy, more inspiration, and just enjoy life in the way that we all want to enjoy it on a daily and weekly basis. You're going to continue to see measures of healing and improvement for you as time goes on, if you continue to put into play all of those important tools that are related to total health: mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual health. Each week we have to pay attention to those things, and I guarantee that if you continue to do that, and if you continue to do that while you're putting more space in between yourself and the last doses of whatever medications you're on, you're going to find further and further measures of healing. You're going to find greater and greater evidence of progress in your life. So just continue to do all the right things on a weekly basis, and you can't go wrong. By the end of 2019, you're going to look back, and I guarantee you're going to have huge progress to take note of. Feel good about what this year is going to bring you. Congratulate yourself for all of the huge accomplishments and milestones in this process that you've been walking through for who knows how long. For some of us, it takes a while. It can be challenging because of the drawn out timetable sometimes, but it truly is the greatest work that any of us can undertake, getting ourselves healthy, because then we can do a lot more with our lives and we can be of more use to the people around us and our loved ones as well. So, no matter what stage of the game you're at this year in 2019, I just want to offer you that bit of encouragement that this year is going to bring you great evidence of healing and great progress if you continue to do the right things for your health. My name is Michael Preby. My website is lovelygrind.com. Please subscribe to that mailing list at Lovely Grind and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Leave a thumbs up if you like this video and leave me comments and messages. I'll respond to everyone. Until next time, please remember to take care of yourself and your dreams.